Okay, morning guys. I'm just going to share with you my New York setup. I actually missed out on the London trade because my trade didn't get activated. So price didn't go back to activate my entry. So I missed out on that. And you'll see with London, so we had this Asia range here. You can see coming into New York session so London, obviously we had that retracement before the continuation, right, for higher prices. At this point, we were above the daily open. So I knew then coming at 5-ish, when I had a look at the computer, I thought, okay, we're possibly looking for lower prices going below the daily open to then go higher. So once we got below the daily open and we were coming near New York, I could see we were sweeping sell side liquidity. So I knew I was looking for a buy then. Overall bias on the highly time frame was bullish, and being below the daily open, it was a discounted area. So I was definitely looking for a buy. So this lot of candles here had taken out the Asia low, right? Liquidity there. It had also taken out this change of character over here, all of this, and also tapped in to this area here. So we'd taken out a fair bit of sell side liquidity on the way down. So I, from that point, was looking for a buy. So dropping down to the 1 minute, we can see where I entered in. So we can see here, we had that drop off. Then we created a lower high, right? Lower high, and then a higher low here. So I could see, okay, market's changing. So as soon as we tapped back down, as you can see, we did surpass these lower highs to obviously make a lower low. Then we came back up to this area. So I had a horizontal ray drawn out here, and that was my area of interest. So I knew if we broke that area, I really wanted to be looking for an entry. So I got in on this FVG here, you can see, and then stops below the low. And then just targeted 2R. Now, the reason I was comfortable to target 2R, if this was London session, I would have only been targeting these lows below here, right? So the nearest liquidity I would be targeting. And then obviously it was New York, right? So we have more volatility. I was happy to target where I have. Now I'll show you on the 15-minute why I did so. So if we have a look, let's move this, right? So if we have a look, we had this huge bearish FVG here, right? So I knew price would be, well, not new, but high probability that price would be magnetized towards that FVG. And as you can see, that's what's happened. We've bounced off it a few times, taken this liquidity in this area. We had this chock as well from the higher time frame prices, come back in, tapped into that, then to drop again. So if we have a look, we dropped, created a even, lower low, and then we've pushed back up again, surpassing this area, right? So coming in today, we've got to see what price does. This is definitely an area of interest for possibly New York, depending. But yeah, that was the trade last night. But let's have a little quick look for today, what we're looking at. So if we look at the daily, let's see. So the daily is open bearish, right? So we're currently bearish at the moment on the daily for today, obviously. You can see as well, this is a definite area of interest for me. For us to be pushing further, we need to create a higher high, and we haven't done so yet. So we created this high. We haven't been able to create a higher high since. We had this high next, which, didn't surpass this high. And then we've had this high, which has surpassed that. So it's really going to be up to this candle whether we're going to get a break above this wick here today or not, or whether we're going to drop, and we may fall below this on the daily. So it'll be interesting to see what this daily candle does today, whether we're going to draw liquidity from either end, and see what happens. And then if we look at the weekly obviously is still bullish. Right, we've got this FVG area of interest below. And then yeah, I'll be looking at these liquidity levels on the higher time frame, because that's going to be a really strong area of interest. So yeah, so at the moment we're kind of coming out of this consolidation on the Asia session. We're dropping a little bit, so it'll be interesting to see whether we actually get an expansion model again today, or not, or whether we will get that accumulation, but time will tell. So I'll be checking back in London session, and we'll see if we have a setup to trade, and if not, we will live to trade another day. See you guys.